mushroom that goes.
And then you step on it.
Yeah, we do have those in Vermont.
Yeah.
Fluffy ones.
I once had one that was twice the size of my foot.
Mm.
No, my dog was afraid of it. It got bigger and bigger, huge.
There's another state that wants to have a puffball for their state mushroom.
Oh.
That's not us.
No.
It's not really a very exciting mushroom. I think you all picked the most, one of the
Which
most
state
exciting. mushrooms.
wants the puffball?
Giant puffball, Massachusetts.
Yeah.
Wow, wow.
But they haven't approved it yet. We're likely to beat them to it.
Huh.
Let's see if Sean's down.
Oh,
So.
we're having a
when is
small
the
technical
next-
problem, so.
Well, what happened is we're having some technical difficulty.
In the meantime.
Are you two related?
Yes, we're Yes. brothers.
Oh, that's what I thought.
Share the
Okay.
screen.
That's
And the
hope.
same
I mean, all of the
You're
students
twins.
are loaded on my.
Oh,
They're
I
triplets,
actually,
Oh.
Their sister is outside.
I see.
Triplets.
She didn't want to present.
No.
Can I
oh,
just grab this?
Here,
for a
just
second?
a second, guys. Let's let Sidonia see if she can work some magic.
okay.
George, give her space, okay?
While we're just waiting.
Yeah.
There we go.
Oh.
There we go, okay.
You do the slide, I talk.
Okay, here, wait, just 1 second. Let's get this out of the way. We don't need.
Move the mic, see, had him set up the way he likes. Sweetie, he will hear you. You don't need to be right up on it. He'll hear you.
You know what, Charles, you don't need to worry about that at all. It's very sensitive. It will totally hear you.
What are you, what's happening?
My access is restricted.
You're muted. Okay.
So, she's fixing it.
Okay.
It says I'm.
You unmute there. Down there, that little microphone.
But should they be, does it?
Should they? No, you guys should be muted.
Yeah, because it probably goes.
You should
Right,
have
yeah, it was, we
feedback.
want it to be muted. Was it muted?
Right, so you leave it muted.
Otherwise, it'll make
Do you
a
understand
weird
what they were
echoing
saying
noise.
about
We had
the
that happen.
microphone? You don't have to speak it.
Somebody with a working computer, oh, maybe I have a working.
That's you every time.
Trying to figure out if we are in fact.
There it is.
Yeah, you did it.
Actually, I can ask the other one was gonna be watching you.
Anything
so we
else
can see if
around,
they're-
okay? So when it's time
You're
to
live.
change the slide.
We are.
All right, Sidonia, you have not had your access. to-
No.
You ready for the presentation?
Not yet.
Listening public knows that we're
They said
live.
it's working next door as they're watching.
Okay, good. All right.
Okay, so I think we're ready, folks.
Okay, but you have to do, he's in
Listen to
charge.
the chair.
That's, his name is Chair Durfee and he's in charge, okay?
Well, thank you very much for pointing that out. And Charles, I think you were going to be the one who was talking first. Is that right?
Well, I mean, like, I'm gonna talk.
Yeah.
I'm gonna talk the whole time. George is gonna do the slides. He doesn't really wanna talk.
Okay. Well, George, if you change your mind, you're welcome to talk. But why don't you go ahead and Charles, you can introduce yourself and then you can get going.
Oh, yeah. Hi, I'm Charles Helen,
Hi.
And now he introduced himself.
and I'm George Pelton.
All right. Hi, Charles and George. So I think if you want to go ahead and move to the next slide.
Sure. Hey, which one?
This one. This one. I think.
Ah. What's your head? Ooh, this one.
Michelle, which go?
Stop pushing the button, right? Here, let's try it again. Before we do escape. On this. Did a test run and it did work. There we go.
Okay.
Down arrow, Michelle?
Down here.
We think the bear's head tooth mushroom should be the state mushroom because it can be used as medicine. It can be found locally. It is in the mushroom family Hericium americanum, which means hedgehog of the America. How do we know this? Representative Bosselon visited Wyndham Elementary School. We voted on different mushrooms. First, we voted by a voice vote and then voted with a hand vote, which is also called an division. Oh, yeah, the bear's head tooth mushroom won. These are the mushrooms we picked for voting. Shrimp of the woods, hedgehog mushroom, hen of the woods, coral mushroom, lobster mushroom, lion's mane mushroom, bear's head tooth mushroom, and chicken of the woods. Do you remember which one won?
Was it the bear's head tooth?
Bear's head tooth mushroom pictures. This one has three: shrimp of the woods, hedgehog mushroom, and hen of the woods. Wait, we didn't get this. See it goes. Okay, I'll go back.
Who came in second?
I think that was probably lion's mane. Shrimp of the wood. There. I already read it. Okay, next slide. Also, we have chicken of the woods, lion's mane mushroom, and coral mushroom, and lobster mushroom, as seen on the pictures shown here. Please make bear's head tooth mushroom the VT stay mushroom. Thanks for listening to our presentation. Do you have any questions?
All right, thank you. We will take a couple of questions, but we'll actually have them hang around in case we have more questions. Go ahead, Representative Tuffle.
So you two, how long did it take your class to figure out and decide the mushroom?
About 2 visits.
Okay.
Do you like mushrooms? Like to eat them? Do you like them?
I haven't tried. I think I've tried mushrooms from canned mushrooms, but I haven't tried like a cooked mushroom.
Yes, you have.
A cooked canned mushroom. Yes, you have.
Representative Lipsky.
Charles and George, did you ever go out in the woods and see a bear's head tooth mushroom?
No, never in our lives. No.
Just from photographs?
We're gonna look for it.
Well,
We're gonna look for it though.
that's when your adventure will really begin.
Representative Cole.
I'm gonna show you the picture of it that's here. I probably already saw it. I know, if you've already seen it, you can.
The one on the right, I think might actually be coral tooth, which is related, but the other two are bear's head tooth.
Okay. Representative Cole.
So my question for you both, and fantastic presentation, by the way, is do you feel like after this educational session with Rep. Boslin, you learned more about mushrooms and about the democratic process than you did before?
Yes.
Yes? What's one thing that you learned about each of those categories?
I think I learned that bear's head tooth mushroom and lion's mane mushroom are both in the Heracema americana family. Well, the Heracema family, not the Heracema americana.
And then what about the democratic process? What did you learn from this
You know what
experiment?
democratic process means, like the voting? What did you learn about voting? Did you know about voice
I
votes?
thought that was in the slide, George.
No, we're asking you how you felt about it
Oh,
and what you learned.
I don't think I've learned anything from it. It's just that hand voted or.
Yeah.
Right
But
answer.
did it feel like a fair way to have the decision be made?
Yes.
It did feel fair?
Did you know that people voted by saying all in favor, say aye, and all opposed, say nay? Did you know that before?
No, I learned that.
Yeah.
And did you know that when you voted by your hand, did you know that was called division? Did you guys know that before?
No, we did
So you
not.
learned quite a bit.
Representative O'Brien, did you have a question?
Yeah, just a quick one. I think we learned last week when the experts on mushrooms came in that the lion's mane doesn't really grow here. It's mostly to the south of us, where bear's head tooth does. So is that true? And is it important that Vermont state mushroom grow here?
I think both of those questions will be answered.
It's true that we higher level of knowledge about the specific mushrooms is coming up at the middle school.
I think I forgot what I said.
Well, maybe we should ask Lydia if she would like to come up and give us her presentation.
Okay, boys, if you would like to watch Lydia, you can sit here. Want me to have you come over here, Michelle? If you want to go in the other room, that's fine, but they might want to ask some questions afterwards, you might not want to go too far away. If you want to go in the other room, that's fine.
Yeah, we.
Thank you.
Thank you both.
Thank
very
you.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you. long. You got this, girl. Do you want me to ask you to stop a little bit?
Oh, hang on.
Or no? Yes.
All right.
All right, we're gonna switch this out.
Whoa.
Oh.
Your cousins did a very nice job. Now, their second cousins. I believe so. I believe you can. Yeah.
Good. Well, Lydia, thank you very much for coming today to share your presentation, which I see is starts out with Vermont needs a state mushroom. So would you like to, I guess, first thing you should do is tell us your name. We know it's Lydia, but you should say it yourself. And then if you want to start, you can go ahead and start.
So can you state your name first? You feeling a little shy?
Do you want to state your name to Michelle and then we all will look at you? So it's not quite so all of us staring at you.
You want me to say it? Okay. Her name is Lydia Dutton and she's in 5th grade at Wyndham Elementary School, but now she actually goes to Townsend Elementary School because she's had a change in her school. Oh, Lydia Joy Dutton.
Oh,
If you say it, people can hear you. And it seems like for some reason it is not advancing just like it did last time. Okay. Oh, there we go. So go ahead and tell us about these symbols, Lydia. What are these symbols of?
Vermont.
And what is the horse a symbol of?
And.
The state animal. What's that middle one with the leaves on it?
Vermont named the Mormon horse in 1961.
Mm.
Oh.
Sugar maple.
Ooh.
Milk. Monarch butterfly.
State insect, right?
Yeah. Red clover.
Is,
Purple.
it's really purple. And what is this one?
Hermit bird.
Did you want to tell them anything about those symbols, that which ones were good examples and which ones weren't, like which ones are shared? Did you want to tell them about the milk? That was an interesting fact you found.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
20 states, including Vermont, have milk as their state beverage.
Oh, wow.
So can you read some of these items from your class? Should I read one and then you read one? Okay. So these are things that were said in her class about why this was a good mushroom. It looks like things found in nature in Vermont, and it is found in nature in Vermont. It was chosen by students at 2 Vermont schools.
Only found in the northeast US. It grows on trees in Vermont, and Vermont has a lot of trees.
It has the name America in it. Vermont is in America, and so is this mushroom. And those last two were ones I remember in particular were from, I think, kindergarten and 1st grade boys who were,
Great.
oh, 2nd grade? They were the younger boys. Okay. What about this one?
I can't see.
It looks like it's being blocked a little bit. Let's see if we can move this. Oops, I don't know if we can. Bear's head tooth is foraged in the woods and can also be cultivated at home.
It has medicinal qualities. Hericium mushrooms have been used in traditional medicine around the world.
So what would you like to tell them about these? This is the one we were just talking about before the program started. Can you tell them about that one?
This is
Which state has that mushroom?
Texas.
Uh-huh. And what are the other state mushrooms? Or whatever you would like to share.
Ooh.
Want to read this one? Should I read it for you? My family have farmed in Vermont since the late 1700s. We have farm stands in Manchester, Newfane, and Brattleboro. We sometimes sell mushrooms. I hope we sell bear's head tooth one day.
Any questions? I hope you enjoyed the slideshow.
Okay, Representative Levitt.
I have just one question. Sometimes mushrooms make me nervous because sometimes they can be poisonous. Does this mushroom look like any other mushroom that might be poisonous?
No.
Excellent choice. Okay, so we can go foraging for that and know it's perfectly safe. Do you cook it? Like, how do you eat this?
It's usually fried. Bear's head
Yum.
tooth is usually made into like a crab cake. It's sort of like a faux seafood type of product. And if you
Oh,
get it crispy around the edges, it's actually really quite delicious.
that's so yummy. I did not know that. Thank you.
Representative Cole.
Did you study some of the medicinal properties, Lydia? I'm curious what the impact is of these mushrooms.
Can you remember some of the things?
Answer.
Really?
Remember any of the other ones? What did Native Americans use bear head tooth for?
They powdered it and put it in like their wounds. It helped it heal.
Anything else?
Representative O'Brien.
I just wondered what your family's farm stands were called. Was that Lydia's at the end?
Buttons.
Dutton's farm stands?
Very prominent in southern Vermont.
We kind of, the slide got covered a little bit that had about cultivating. Do you want to talk about cultivating mushrooms at all? Because you grew mushrooms recently. No? Well, one of the things that her class liked is that this mushroom could be cultivated and it could also be found in the wild. And both of the schools were really happy about that. They said, oh, this is good. It has our agricultural side and our natural side in Vermont. And so everybody was wanting that. You feel like that's everything you need to share? Anybody else have a final question? Because I think she is about done.
Is that the state-
Wait.
is that the state pie in the middle of the picture?
It's actually, what's the exact category? Do you remember?
Dessert.
The state dessert.
Okay. One more question, Jeff.
What's the turtle?
Painted turtle. State wrap.
Okay.
Not the crocodile?
No? All right. I'll finish. So if you want to go tell the company students. that
Thank you, Lydia Joy.
Okay. All right, we'll, round two. Coming soon. Okay. All right. So our first student,
Yeah.
all right, let's see if we can actually get this set up so it'll advance in the first try.
That's the blackest Morgan horse I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I'm a black belt.
They do.
We don't know what.
So, Nicholas, you can either sit on that side or this side, whichever you prefer. And same with you, Mustafa. Zinth is going first. Rebecca, either side.
Hello?
I'm not sure. How are we for numbers? Do we have room for one more teacher or no?
18 is on.
Would you rather have Cora here? Cora can sit here or I can sit. We don't have enough for all of us. Okay, we're good. Thank you. Okay. I think, would you prefer?
Entirely up to you guys to negotiate amongst
Okay,
yourselves.
I think
Thank
we
you.
want 18, so probably be better if you could go out.
Are you nervous? It's really great.
Hi.
So I'm gonna sit over here unless you want me to go closer, okay? And if you just go more towards the middle, then your face will show up on the screen. So if your dad wants to see you, your dad might like to see you. Up to you, up to you.
So, How are you today, Sid?
Mhm.
Are you ready to show off about the mushrooms?
Yeah,
Okay, go ahead.
do I not introduce myself?
You can introduce yourself first, yeah.
I am Zimph Holder. I am in seventh grade and I come from Compass School in Bellows Falls and I live in Bellows Falls and Westminster. Like on the border of the. And and I'm going to be speaking about mushrooms and why they're great for the environment and other things. Why they're just amazing. Oh, jeez. Mushrooms, oh. Mushrooms are amazing creatures in the environment. The fungi kingdom does many important things. 2, mushrooms are amazing and can do many things. Many come out during fall to decompose dead leaves and dead logs or dying trees. Most grow on forest floors and some are on decomposing logs. They make soil healthy and help plants, and trees get nutrients. 3, there are so many mushrooms that grow during the autumn, but they start growing in later spring and summer in Vermont. Why mushrooms are good for people? Mushrooms have good uses for people, such as for food and medicine. 2, mushrooms are edible like hen of the woods or chicken of the. Oh wait, let me re-say that. 2, mushrooms that are edible like hen of the woods or chicken of the woods can be used for food. These 2 are vegan replacements for poultry or chicken. Hedgehogs and bear tooth mushroom are edible as well and can be found in the wild. They both have teeth. 3, our school did not want a poisonous mushroom for the state mushroom. Edible mushrooms are very delicious, nutritious. 4, mushrooms can be used as medicine. Mushrooms such as bear's head tooth can be used to treat cancer, Alzheimer's, and depression, and heal wounds. 5, mushrooms can even be used to fix damaged soil, but there's only very few, like oyster mushrooms. These mushrooms are used to remove toxins from the earth's soil, such as oil spills. Bear's head tooth would be a good choice because it is edible, medicinal, and also distinctive. It also represents icicles and waterfalls we have here. This would be perfect for the state symbol because of all the great things it does and represents. This is all I have to say. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Sid. That was very helpful. I wonder if, would it be okay if we asked you some questions? Okay. Who has a question? Representative Templeman.
I noticed in this one photo on the right that there's a pink understory to this mushroom. So
Which one?
the one here. So our bear head tooth mushrooms.
Bear's head tooth.
Bear's head tooth. Thank you. Are they more than one color?
I'm pretty sure that might just be the shading of the picture.
Okay.
They are usually white. Maybe they could be a little pinkish, but if they start turning yellow, that means they're trimming.
Oh, that's good information. Thank you.
Same with hen of the woods. That's the same.
Who else has a question? Representative Paul.
Do you know if any other species interact well with this mushroom, like habitat or maybe benefit from having the mushroom nearby?
Well, I believe it helps trees, maybe? I don't know with this one. I don't have an answer really. I didn't really look into that. Maybe somebody else does.
Thank you.
Representative O'Brien.
Speaking of names, I just wondered about your name. I've never met another Zip. Where did that come from?
My name's Zinth. It came from a dragon from a game that I play. It's named Zintheros.
Mm.
It's not really a game. Maybe it is a real species of dragon somewhere out there, but
Thank you.
it's a dragon species. And the name Zintheros, I like Zinth. It matches me, and I think that's where I got it from. I mainly got it from my brain, just like, you know what, Zinth would be a good name.
That's excellent. Any other questions? Okay, but another question, yeah.
Did you enjoy studying these mushrooms?
I love mushrooms.
You do?
And have loved mushrooms ever since I was pretty young. So yes,
Great.
I knew a lot about mushrooms. I wasn't studying the mushroom, but I did have to find out specifically what it can cure.
Wow.
And it's kind of surprising that some can cure cancer. Pretty neat.
That's amazing.
But I just love mushrooms. That's about it.
I don't want to take up too much more of your time, but do you know what you want to be when you grow up?
A veterinarian.
Okay.
Honestly, I have all the time.
Right.
I'm patient. I can wait.
Thank you.
Any other questions? I'm curious to know, so did you, because I know this was a vote and there were other mushrooms, did you want this mushroom?
At first, no, I wanted something more common like hen of the woods. I think I voted for a chicken or hen of the woods, one of the two.
But you're satisfied that the process?
Yeah, I like this mushroom. It was originally the lion's mane, and it didn't look pretty interesting to me. I didn't like it. And when I look at the bear's head tooth, I like it. It looks way better, and it represents things. It does a lot of things. It just makes me happy. You know, puts a smile on my face.
Good. All right, well, thank you very much.
Thank you so much for your presentation.
If you would like to watch this, you're welcome to sit while Nicholas presents, or you can go out. Go out, okay.
Thank you, Zed.
Thank you.
This next is gonna be Nicholas. All right, Nicholas, we're ready for you.
Great.
Um,
Hi, Nicholas.
my name is Nicholas Dupree. I'm in 7th grade. I go to Compass School and I live in Bellows Falls. The history of the bear's head tooth. The bear's head tooth was identified in 1984 by a Canadian mycologist, James Herbert Gins. This mushroom, this mushroom is native to forests and is thought to have grown in the wild for many centuries. They now grow well in temperate climate, deciduous forests, the forest where the trees drop their leaves. It's in the Hericium family of mushrooms. Hericium americium, bear's head tooth, are found on decaying trees and sometimes in the wounds of living trees around the northeastern United States and Canada. The name means hedgehog of the Americas. Bear's head tooth and comb tooth, also called coral tooth fungus, all grow in our area. Each of these mushrooms and lion's mane are similar Hericium mushrooms, but there are differences in shape, size, texture, and growth patterns. Hericium mushrooms are all white and have long teeth. Lion's mane don't do well in the wild in Vermont, but some people confuse them with bear's head teeth because they can look similar. Although this mushroom looks similar to some others, none in this group are toxic if you mistake them with each other. The medicinal qualities of the bear's head tooth. Native Americans would dry the mushroom, make them into a powder, and use them to stop bleeding, wounds, and cuts. Bear's head tooth is known as a brain food. It is also very nutritious. Bear's head tooth are effective against memory loss, depression, anxiety, dementia, neurological disorders, and cancer. It has as stated above, it also has wound healing properties. Usually they're at a tincture, which are drops, which are like eye drops or a powder. Bear's head tooth branches out more than lion's mane. Bear's head tooth can be found on hardwood trees like oak trees and sugar maple trees that are dying or dead. They have white to off-white coral-like branches or icicles that always grow towards the ground. The bear's head tooth fungus is white when fresh and yellows with age. It has long spines and a branched fruiting body. The fungus is 6 to 12 inches across. It is a tightly branched structure and has a rooted base. Each column that grows out and downwards is called a tooth. These mushrooms are native to forests. 78% of Vermont is covered in forest. Vermont's forest consists of several hardwood trees, which are favored by the bear's head tooth mushroom. Bear's head tooth lives on both living and dead hardwood trees and logs such as birch, maple, and oak. You can grow it outside or inside as a cultivated mushroom. It is one of the easiest mushrooms to cultivate. This is unusual as many mushrooms cannot be intentionally grown by people. They grow best between the month of August and November. It is considered a very desired mushroom. It tastes mild and a bit crunchy when fried. With a hint of seafood, many think it has a meaty flavor. It needs a fair bit of cleaning, but can be washed in water, and it also gets bitter when old. The bear's head tooth can be used as a substitute for meat. It can be used to make crab cakes. Bear's head tooth would be a good mushroom to represent Vermont because it grows on most hardwood trees such as oak, birch, and the Vermont state sugar maple tree, which are common in Vermont. The Vermont state tree is the sugar maple, which is a hardwood tree and a state symbol, our state tree. The bear's head tooth mushroom is already a big part of Vermont because many look for them on our beautiful well-known trees. Let's recognize mushrooms and make bear's head tooth an official symbol of our state.
Right, Nicholas, thank you.
Thank you.
Who has a question? And do you mind if we ask you any questions?
Sure.
Representative Lipsky.
Yeah, thank you, Nicholas. I have to congratulate you on your reading, your diction. The whole presentation was fascinating. But it drew me back 3 years when I was working I work in the woods, have most all my life. And I have seen bear tooth in my town of Stowe in the woods and on 2 trees. One was an aging sugar maple, the other was an aging yellow birch. So what I learned from your presentation was the fact that there's something about an overmature or a decaying tree that help symbiotic. It helped the mushroom to assist the tree in its passing on. And it's a new form of life and goodness out of our forest. So I loved your presentation. Thank you.
Representative O'Brien?
Nicholas, I'm just listening to your presentation. I wondered who named it Bear's Head Tooth? Was it that Canadian mycologist?
Yeah, it's a Canadian mycologist, James Herbert Gins.
Yeah. And do we know why he came up with that instead of, waterfall or icicles or something?
No, that is unknown.
I mean, I can see it with that photo over there, yeah.
Just had a question about, is there anything we should know about if we find it and want to harvest it? Is there a correct way do you just pull it off the tree or do you cut it or?
Well, it's safer to cut it to not damage the roots. so they can keep growing and so they won't be extinct.
Very cool, thank you.
Oh, okay.
All right, I don't see any other hands up, Nicholas, so thank you again, and you're welcome to stay if you want and hear the next presentation.
So Mustafa primarily has a speech, but do you mind if do you want to leave that photo?
Yeah.
While you're talking? And you can move it down when you want to show them the other ones.
Hi, I'm Mustafa Tucker. I live in Queens, Vermont, and I'm from the Compass School, and I'm in 8th grade. Mushrooms at school and in the world. The reason why Wyndham Elementary School and Compass voted for Hericium americanum, or the hedgehog of Americas, which common name is bear's head tooth mushroom, is because we decided that Vermont should have a distinct and a distinct mushroom to represent us. In terms of Compass School, we had 2 different wild mushroom experts come out and took us on foraging trips actually in the woods near our school at Bald Hill Reserve. And we found like 6 different types of mushrooms. And actually, the year before I went to Compass, they actually found bear's head tooth when they went foraging. And we had a wild edible potluck using the mushrooms we found. We had stir fry pasta with mushrooms, mushroom soup, and shepherd's pie, which is all delicious. In the fall, Representative Michelle Boslin came to introduce us to the idea of a state mushroom bill and describe the legislative process, which I found very fascinating. I just lost my place. During her visits, we considered many candidates and their properties, including jack-o'-lantern, hen of the woods, chicken of the woods, lion's mane, black trumpet, and others. Finally, we decided on bear's head tooth. We voted to designate first with a voice vote and then by division. We ended up with a nearly unanimous vote on which should be ours, which one should be our state mushroom, and bear's head tooth won. Some of things to consider about having a mushroom for a Vermont state symbol. Including mushrooms as a state symbol are very important to is very important to recognize because mushrooms are decomposers, which means they turn the dead leaves and trees into food that they use to make more of themselves and nourish the environment around them. Another important quality about mushrooms in general, that this is a very interesting fact, that the mycelium, the mushroom's mycelium, help more than 90% of plants and trees get nutrients from the soil. So we should acknowledge their important environmental role. Vermont has many state symbols, but the fungi kingdom has not been represented and it deserves its place in our state symbols. We thought about the bear's head tooth. The bear's head tooth mushroom is one of the few mushrooms that can be cultivated and also found naturally in the woods, which is very, very interesting. The way it looks like waterfall or the icicles you can find on rocks. And the biggest living organism and one of the oldest at 2,400 years and 13.5 miles square is a patch of I said 3.5. Is a patch of honey mushrooms. They're mycelium in Oregon. Mushrooms are exceptional in many ways. There is a mushroom that merged with a caterpillar, and it is a delicacy in Tibet. Mushrooms are neither plants nor animals, but somewhere in between. networks of mycelium beneath the forest floor send messages to each other and to plants and trees about moisture and other conditions, almost functioning almost like a thinking brain. Mushrooms are sophisticated and advanced in ways we are only beginning to understand. On behalf of my school and other Vermont students, I hope this committee considers this testimony and of the importance of mushrooms and decides to support the bill to designate Hericium americanum as Vermont state mushroom. And these are the pictures of the foraging trail. There's another one. And there's the mushrooms that we found, and there's us after, I believe it was the second visit of Michelle visiting our school. Does anybody have any questions?
Representative Levitt.
Can you go back to explaining more about how the mushrooms communicate?
Yeah, I
Because I
don't,
had never heard that before, so.
I don't know very much about how it works. But it's like it's kind of like so one mushroom communicates to another like, hey, there's not very much moisture in this area, so you might not want to grow here. Like the mycelium kind of is like a kind of the roots of the mushroom. So like if there's a network of mycelium, then technically the mushrooms could go anywhere there.
Got it, okay.
Which means in a certain area, like if there's a dry part, you shouldn't grow here, you should grow over here.
Oh, that is
Whereas,
fascinating.
yeah,
So I got it. Okay, thank you. I never knew that before. Thank you.
Representative Templeman.
On that question, wondering if you know if different species of mycelium can communicate with each other.
that I actually don't know.
Fair enough.
Representative Lipsky.
Yeah, really fascinating. My question really is about a concern. As a legislature, we are always thinking of unintended consequences. So when we highlight a type of mushroom, do you have any concern about risks that all of a sudden a lot of the population may go out to find or forage and may in any way threaten the continuum of species?
I don't think so. If people are careful about it and they think because they can go out and take a mushroom and cultivate it themselves and then continue the growth. And then with that cultivated one, you can actually go out and then you can bring it and reintroduce it into the wild. So I don't you can take a mushroom and then the mushrooms that you grow, you can reintroduce to the wild, so you can increase the population. So I don't think there's much concern there.
I appreciate, thank you for giving me some confidence.
And they also grow back too. So
Representative Cole.
yeah.
So would you consider running for office?
Which the governor's office?
Yes.
Have.
Maybe, I don't know.
Start running for school council and then,
Go from there.
yeah.
Yeah.
Representative O'Brien.
So I just read that sometimes these grow quite high in trees, like when you were out foraging.
Yeah.
Did you see any that were above, out of reach?
No, I don't think we did see any.
Where were yours that you found?
They were I don't know if many of them grew on trees, but they were mostly on the ground.
On dead trees that had fallen over maybe?
Or they just sprout out of the ground.
Okay.
Not bear sanctuaries, but other.
No, bears had shoots were some trees. Yeah.
One more quick question. Our committee was talking about this. Do you say fungi or fungi?
I say fungi.
Me too.
Me too.
There actually are three correct pronunciations. It can be fungi, which is, I guess, Flemish, or fungi, or fungi. And I've actually heard all three are legitimate and acceptable. Yeah. So we mostly say fungi because I say fungi, so.
Right.
Yeah, but those are all right.
That's not the reason why. I said it my entire life.
Okay, well, that's what I mean.
That's what I said. Yeah,
Maybe Representative Basil picked it up from you.
Okay.
maybe. Any other questions?
I was, Representative Pearl.
I just wondered for us or for anybody watching, is there any resource out there for people that are interested in going out and foraging? Like a resource to know what to look for or what's poisonous or what's not? Is there anything that you guys use? Like, is there a book or a?
No, I don't know if
Okay.
there is. There's probably like some books that you can find about mushrooms.
Who advised you at Compass though? How did your teacher help you to learn about mushrooms?
Two experts came
Yep.
and
Personal foraging.
yeah, personal fortune guys.
Thank you.
Well, we had some, in addition to the students, your classmates and the other students we had earlier, we had several experts come in and tell us what they thought about the bill. I don't know whether you shared this already, Michelle, but they all thought this was a great choice. They congratulated you and your fellow students for coming up with this mushroom. I feel like one of them might have been somebody who has worked with, is that right?
Christopher Dennett, was that one of the people that did your tour?
Yeah.
He was one of the people that tested.
Yeah, Christopher. Yeah.
Any other questions or any other thoughts that you want to share with us that you forgot to put in your presentation?
No, I don't have.
Okay.
When it comes to difference between fungi and mushroom, but you
Yeah,
know already.
so, do you guys know?
No,
Okay, go ahead. Stay
so-
first.
Fungi, the broad term, includes mushrooms, yeast, and mold. And mushrooms is part of the fungi, but not all fungi are mushrooms. So,
got it.
yeah, so you can and we don't want like a steak yeast or steak. So it does represent the entire community of.
We'll leave that to another legislature.
If they want to do a state yeast or a state mold.
State mold.
State mold would be kind of interesting though.
Well, that could be next year's project.
Somebody else can sponsor that one.
So the slime molds person.
Mustafa, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Rachel.
All right.
Wyndham Elementary School was the younger school and Compass School was the older school. And I did end up speaking a little bit and I'm Michelle Boston.
Thank you.
I am biologically related to your second speaker who got a little shy. So I hope that was all right that I jumped in, but we had talked about having an older student come in with her and then the numbers were off. And so we decided I would sit with her instead.
What's your relationship to her?
I am her grandmother.
Oh, very good.
But I don't live in Wyndham. She lives in Wyndham with, her parents are split up and she lives in Wyndham with her dad part of the week and then comes in Westminster part of the week, so.
Well, thank you for organizing this. I imagine that was its own project, getting everyone to come up here, and I know they had to miss some school. Thank you to the parents who drove or accompanied. I think what we'll do, well, let me just see, first of all, if there's anybody has any comments, committee discussion type comments before we go off the air and take a break. We will, like every other bill, need to get pass a bill out this week. And I think maybe we've got some time set aside later today to discuss next steps. So, good. Why don't we pause there then?